So Goody, this is like the boardroom. I don't think I've ever been in the draft room before. It's really cool. I mean, this is where it all goes on, huh?
Yeah, for us, this is an everyday workroom. It's not just for the draft. Our personnel staff works in and out of here, year-round, and it's really a functional room. I have a hard time thinking anybody has it better than we got, but yeah, this is where we spend most of our time, and probably where I'm the most comfortable.
Now, you drafted 11 players, and history says most of them will make the team. Now, you've said we're not out to be the youngest team in the league every year, but you do want to be green and growing. Could you explain that?
Yeah, I think that's an old Paul Brown term, if I'm not mistaken. I think I heard that somewhere, but I think you have to keep growing and you have to keep getting better. And in the National Football League, for players, obviously, there comes a time where maybe that is tough just physically, when you get to a certain spot in your career where it's tough to do. So we want all these guys to continue to grow, to continue to get better. I think the best way to do that is to have competition within the rooms. I think competition brings out the best in all players. It really allows the cream to rise to the top. So I think that's kind of the idea. We want to be explosive, fast, and have guys that still have something left in the tank to get better with. And I think if you have that, it's going to bring out the best in the entire team.
Pressure from the back. Edan Cooper.
Brian, I'm excited to see Edan Cooper in pads. Is that excitement justified?
Yeah, I think seeing all these guys in Green Bay Packer uniforms out on our field is something that's a little bit like, Christmas Day for scouts, right? This is a very exciting time for all 32 teams because there's a lot of hope, and obviously if you pick guys in the draft, you felt good about them. We brought a lot of speed and athleticism to our team through this draft, and certainly Edan is going to be right up there. I mean, his length, speed, and his playmaking ability is, once he gets into our defense, understands it, and in his comfort zone, it'll allow him to make a lot of plays for us.
Edan Cooper gets the sack on 4th down.
The three safeties, Bullard, Williams, and Oladapo, play the same position but different guys. Does each one have his own hole card, shall we say? What differentiates the three?
They're all very aggressive downhill players that will hit you, and I think that's certainly something we were looking for. In Williams and Bullard's case, I think they have a lot of flexibility within playing slot and nickel, as well as safety. They both can play in the post. They both can come down and play in the box. Oladapo's a little bit more of a traditional, free and strong safety. He can play both of those. I think if he comes down and plays any in the nickels, will be a little bit more like a big nickel Sam linebacker, will linebacker type. And I think all three of them have exceptional ability to play on teams as well. So they're very versatile in different ways, but I think they're all going to have an opportunity to help us in more than one way.
And picked! Bullard has it!
In your evaluations, do you feel a responsibility to uphold the culture that you have in your locker room? Because it is exemplary. Do you feel like a responsibility? We need to keep this going.
Absolutely. I think it's one of those things that your culture in your locker room is going to come from your players. I think who you put in there, particularly when you have a strong culture like we do, I think it's only fair to those guys that the guys you bring in there are that way as well. Certainly we want to keep that going. Every year it's a little bit different and it can change, but it's going to change with the kind of guys you're putting in the locker room. There will be adversity in an NFL season. There always is. And I think one thing that was really good to see from our team last year is when we hit that adversity, how they came together. They didn't go apart. And the guys that we brought in through this draft, we're going to expect them to kind of be the same kind of guys. That when tough times come, we're going to band together and put the team first. And these guys that we brought in through this draft class, for the most part, showed that they were able to do that in college. And so usually if they've done that there, they know how to do that. They know how to play a role. They know how to be a good teammate, and that's important.
Back. We go back.